Hey y'all, here OS Reviews. One of the product categories I've always enjoyed looking at have been novelty Bluetooth speakers and desk gadgets. One of the brands in particular being Divoom. They've made some of the really cool pixel art inspired Bluetooth speakers. Since then, competitors that we've seen have included brands like Musen, which have styled some of their speakers after walkie-talkies, as well as Gravistar that have gone after a more cyberpunk approach. Well, today we're taking a look at yet another model from Divoom. This is their very okay, which is kind of a cute name, and I would say it is a really close rival to the aforementioned Musen speakers. It even has a similar dimension overall, has what looks like a much more customized appearance compared to your typical mini Bluetooth speaker. It still is ultra compact, but has this retro throwback vibe to it from perhaps the 70s or 80s, and it has this tiny microphone that is wirelessly connected to the speaker, and you can use this to sing karaoke, use it for announcements, packing 2000 milliamp hour capacity batteries, which can last up to 6 hours of continuous music playback. It has a built-in FM radio as well, which is pretty cute, and even has a built-in micro SD card reader for playing back content. It comes in this pretty carefully presented gift packaging, which does look quite premium, I have to admit, although I will say that these novelty speakers have never been about ultra budget. So this is definitely something you're paying a little bit more for that presentation and style. It comes in this pretty carefully presented plastic box, but has kind of this vinyl-like accent going on and some of this see-through texture on the top of the lid. Very okay on the inside, along with this tiny microphone, as you can see there, which is just adorable. It kind of disappears in the palm of your hand. Now, aside from the speaker itself, which we'll take a closer look at in a moment, underneath this cover, you'll find access also to some spare accessories, including a quick start guide and a Type-C charging cable. Taking a closer look at the design of the speaker, the first thing I will say is it's surprisingly heavy for something so compact, weighing over 2.6 pounds due to the large passive radiator along with the drivers built on it and the pretty solid metal and ceramic build going on. Now here's a quick size comparison with a phone that has, say, a 6.3-inch display, so you get an idea here of the size. It still is absolutely tiny, and you'll have no issues putting it into a backpack and taking it with you when on the road. First of all, this dial here, which by the way, if we turn on the speaker, it has an animation. Afterwards, you can see that it does light up, and you're able to kind of make out what is the channel that is currently being indicated, since this also acts as how you can change the FM radio and go through different stations. The action here feels very smooth and easy to move. Definitely a lot of detail work here. There's an LED here for connectivity for Bluetooth. Otherwise, we have just on the top a additional key which you can press on for play pause, as well as skip track commands. The bottom here features just some soft touch rubber feet along with the micro SD card slot, which you can optionally use. And then on the back, I think it looks even more interesting because of this kind of transparent effect going on. So this part won't glow in the dark, but still looks really neat with all of these accents. Type-C port there for charging. Here is the power key that you can also tap on once to check out the battery percentage out of 4 bars. And overall, again, just a pretty attractive design for something that is so compact and mini. Doing a quick size comparison with some of those other aforementioned micro speakers, Wild Mini, which by contrast is a little bit smaller. However, again, it does have fewer features, although it does have a flashlight as one of the modes that you can find here. And then there is the Gravistar Venus, which I would say has a similar overall dimension, closer, I think, to this very okay. Last but not least, this tiny little microphone can also be charged using Type-C. It claims to last for up to 4 hours of continuous audio before you have to recharge it again, and comes with 7 different effects when you're using it in the karaoke mode. So you can change your voice to make it more robotic, higher pitch, lower pitch. So it's not just as simple as magnifying your voice, which is pretty neat. There's a dedicated power key. The mic here is constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic, so it does feel a lot more light, but overall not shabby, and then has just this little hook that also serves as the antenna. By the way, that mode key can also be pressed once to trigger into the FM radio mode, which, as you can hear, it's really not bad in terms of getting quite a strong reception, even though the antenna is integrated and not really sticking out. So let's go into the microphone mode here. We're going to turn this on. So this is what the sound quality is like. Here in the pop mode, there's a slight reverb effect, just as you are seeing, to make you sound a little better. You can then tap on the key of the microphone to change into the next effect.
Studio mode.
So here is the studio mode, which has less of a echo effect.
Monster mode.
Here is the robot mode that lowers your pitch.
Chant mode.
Here is the child mode that increases your pitch.
Original mode.
And then this is the original that doesn't add any filter or effect to your voice, just amplifies it. And the quality of the microphone really is not bad. Of course, it doesn't have really any filter over it, so you have to be careful not to really hit it or breathe too heavily. And the range is around 5 meters or so. And if you're wondering, yes, you can also play back music on the Bluetooth speaker while you are singing. So both can be done at the same time, which again just makes it more of a karaoke speaker in that particular mode. Anyways, let's hear what the speakers sound like playing back a song here. Alright, so lowering the volume there, takeaway being that the speaker quality is actually not shabby for a novelty speaker. In fact, it packs quite a punch in terms of volume for something so small. Easily fills up a smaller room with no problem, and for sure, significantly louder and fuller sounding than what you'll find from a built-in speaker on a phone, for example. The passive radiator here does indeed buzz, as you can see there. It kind of shakes a little bit when it's hitting lower frequency notes like drum beats, and packs a little bit of bass and depth, surprisingly, to the sound. So I think it does have bigger overall volume output than you will expect. It doesn't really distort at higher volume levels, has again a nice mix of bass but also clarity on the mids and trebles. So overall this is very pleasant to listen to when it comes to pop music, acoustic songs even for the most part, and again just will get you better sound than what you can find from your smartphone. So really good to see that despite the style here, they haven't really skimped on making the sound at least fairly good for what it is. So that's more or less it as far as our quick hands-on review of the Divoom Very OK. For the most part, I would say it's a little less flashy than their Ditto and other pixel art speakers, which have more of that visual flair going on, but this has a unique set of features on its own, including a very good FM radio with strong antenna reception, combined with also really cool aesthetic, and also solid sound in a compact form factor. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Divoom Very OK.